na books are not yet available. Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Dalig, i-inform ko na lang daw kayo na kasi baka wala daw silang available na book now. Kung mag-request pa daw tayo, baka matagalan pa siya dumating. So yun, ang sabi ni Ma'am Dalig, ituro ko daw kayo sa Shopee. Kasi meron daw siyang nakita sa Shopee. Okay. I do not know if magkano, no? Pero marami daw available sa Shopee. Oh. At saka, baka mas mabilis dumating yung Shopee, no? At saka COD pa. So, sure kayo na darating sa bahay niyo. Yun. So, Shopee turo ko daw kayo sa Shopee. Yun. So, sana, sorry, no? Kasi medyo naghintayan tayo ng medyo matagal din. Kami din, naghintay din kami. Naghintayan din kami regarding sa book. So yun, late na rin nagsabi yung agent ng CNE na yun. Kasi naghihintay kami ng package na padala, no? Kasi nagbigay kami ng list, di ba, ng names. So we were expecting delivery, no? Within last week pa dapat. So yun, parang yung isang araw lang ata nagtabi kay Ma'am Yas or nag-message yung ahente na wala na daw available na book from them. Yes. Kaya yun, walang available na book sa atin for Zbig sa CNE. Yun, sabi ni Ma'am Yas, ituro ko daw kayo sa Shopee kasi meron daw available doon sa Shopee. Okay? So yun. So now, let's move on to our next let's move on to our topic, no? So first, let me upload my presentation first. If you can see, no, parang may something mali sa spelling ba? Tama ba?
Yes.
Okay. When we were in college, we were taught that to spell amoeba with an O. Tama ba? Yun din ba ang alam niyo when it comes to amoeba? Yes. But when I read the book list, no, na-confused ako. Akala ko ano lang, clerical error or baka mali lang yung pag-spell ng word. Pero tiningnan ko lahat ng words na amoeba, all of them wala yang O. If you notice, walang O lahat ng amoeba sa book. Okay? So I research, no, tiningnan ko talaga, hinanap ko yung reason bakit ganyan. So according to So hinanap ko yung definition or reason why. Okay, Miss Cantilaga, you're present na. Okay. Okay, hinanap ko yung reason bakit walang O yung spelling ng amoeba. So, I found out that amoeba na walang O stands for the parasite. Again, okay, the classification of the parasite or the noun that identifies the protozoan or a unicellular parasite is amoeba without an O. But the amoeba with an O class stands for the genus of the genus of the classification. Okay, so when we are talking about the noun or the parasite, okay, we spell amoeba without an O. But when we write or we are classifying or when we are talking about the scientific name or the genus of this parasite, we are writing or we are spelling out yung amoeba with an O. Yeah. Again, if it's a noun, a classification ng parasite, okay, yes. Mamaya na Mr. Siso, no, kasi hindi ko din siya ma-upload agad. Mamaya na ha. Okay, so we are talking about yun. So when we're talking about classification of the parasite, okay, amoeba without an O. But if we're talking about the genus of this parasite, So we should spell it with an O. So yun yung difference between the two spellings ng parasites. So we were not informed of that because we were not informed of that before, no? Ngayon ko lang din yan nalaman when we are trying to read yung books, no? Yung references natin. Okay? So yan yung difference ng dalawa. So pag noun, walang O. But if for scientific names or for genus, okay, yun yung lalagyan ng O. Okay? So next, okay, so let's talk about the morphology. Okay, morphology and a life cycle na ating morphology and life cycle itong ating parasite. This amoeba or this specific parasite, classification of parasite, the amoeba. Amoeba, when we say amoeba, diba, what do we first comes into our mind? Ano yung unang tumatak sa atin pag narinig natin yung amoeba? Diba, our parents taught us about huwag tayong kumain sa gilid-gilid o uminom sa kahit anong tubig, anywhere, kasi baka pwede tayong magkakaroon ng amoebiasis. Diba? We were taught of that. So, we were introduced to the notion na ang amoebiasis or amoeba is an organism na pwede tayong mag-cause ng infection. So, amoeba class in general or yung cellular protozoa. But amongst other protozoans class, amoeba is a unique classification. Why? Because only amoeba or only the amoeba classification amongst the protozoans are able to move or they are motile. Okay? It is because of their cytoplasmic extension or cytoplasmic extremities known as pseudopods. Okay, pseudopods literally means false feet. Okay, because of the pseudopods class, they were able to move along our intestines, our gastrointestinal system, our circulation. Okay, that's the reason why amoebas can able to move around our system. Okay, so they are equipped with the ability to extend their cytoplasm in the form of pseudopods. So, yun yung unique kay amoeba. Okay? So, in general class, amoeba has two morphologic forms. Okay? Meron siyang dalawang klase or meron siyang dalawang stages. Yan pa yung ko.
Try naman doon eh, bulaga.
Depende, Miss Belonio. Hindi lahat ng amoebiasis, no, is nag-cause ng blood sa stool. Merong parasitism din na nag-cause ng blood sa stool. Pero not all amoebiasis is nag-cause ng blood. Maybe, depende sa blood, Miss Belonio. If it's fresh, probably it was caused by irritation of excessive defecation because of diarrhea. Pwedeng ganon. Okay? Meaning, irritate na yung kanyang anus because of excessive defecation. Probably because of diarrhea. Pero hindi mismo yung amoeba ang nag-cause nun. If you notice, the amoeba is circular. Wala siyang hooks, wala siyang anything na pwedeng magkasugat doon sa ating intestine. Pero pwede siyang mag-cause ng irritation. Pero hindi siya pwedeng mag-cause ng sugat. Okay, so later on, madidiscuss natin yan kung ano yung mechanism of diarrhea niya. Okay? So when we talk about morphologic forms class, dalawa yung kay amoeba. Meron siyang, pwede siyang trophozoite and pwede siyang cyst. Okay. So trophozoite class in the form, ito yung form or morphologic form ng amoeba class that is capable of feeding. Okay, capable of multiplying. Okay, and capable of movement. Ibig sabihin, si trophozoite ang morphologic form ni amoeba na merong pseudopods. Again, Trophozoite is capable of feeding, pwede siyang kumain. Capable din siya of multiplication by binary fission. It is an example or it is a type of asexual multiplication, no? Yung ating binary fission. Para siyang nag-divide into two. Di ba? And then we have, ito si trophozoite din, yung capable of moving. Ibig sabihin, si trophozoite yung merong pseudopods. Okay. Siguro na-introduce kayo class sa mga cartoons before, no? So, kilala niyo yung mga Powerpuff Girls? Di ba? Di ba meron yan sila kalaban na, yung Amoeba Brothers? Okay? Parang silang brothers ka. Parang ang itsura nila class is parang slime. Okay, na kumikot-ikot. Okay, nag-move yung kanilang sides. And then, pag nahawakan mo sila, magkakaroon ka ng sakit. So, parang ganun yung interpretation ng writer, no? Okay, nung gumawa ng story about Amoeba Brothers, pinattern niya din kay Amoeba na parasite. Okay, so when we are in touch with these parasites and able to penetrate our system, pwedeng siya mag-cause ng infection. Okay, so another morphologic form ng ating amoeba class is the cysts. Okay, so kung si trophozoite is feeding, capable of multiplication and able to move, si cyst naman class is non-feeding. Okay, hindi siya kumakain. This stage is characterized by a thick protective cell wall designed to protect the parasite from harsh outside environment when deemed necessary. So ito yung ginagawa class. Nagtatransform si trophozoite into a cyst or si amoeba into a cyst to protect itself from harmful or harsh environment. Okay. Ibig sabihin class, pag nasa katawan or pag pumasok sa katawan natin itong si amoeba class, nagtatransform siya into cyst to protect itself from the acid from our gastrointestinal system. Okay, it is important to note here, class, that the nuclear characteristic of trophozoites are basically identical to those of their corresponding cysts. Okay, by the way, no, si trophozoites or the identifying characteristic ng isang amoeba class is yung kanyang nucleus. Okay, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng amoeba. Okay, meron silang iba't ibang number ng nucleus. For example, kung ilan yung number ng nucleus ng isang cyst, ganun din ang number ng nucleus ng kanyang trophozoite. It corresponds. Okay? Again, tandaan yan, kung ilan yung number ng nucleus sa trophozoite, ganun din ang number ng nucleus sa kanyang cyst. Okay? Sa si class, isa yan sa mga identifiable features ng amoeba, yung kanyang nucleus. Malalaman mo kung anong klaseng amoeba siya, class, depende sa number of nucleus. Kasi class, pag ihilera mo lahat ng cyst ng amoeba, pare-parehong bilog yan sila. Okay, paano mo malalaman kung ganito siya? Si Entamoeba coli, Entamoeba histolytica. You count the number of nucleus. Okay? So next class, yun. Let's differentiate further yung dalawa. Si trophozoite and si cyst. Okay? Si trophozoites class are characteristically delicate and fragile. Again, characteristically delicate and fragile. Because of their ability to produce and use pseudopods, they are motile. Again, di ba sabi natin characteristic ng isang trophozoite? They are able to, they can eat, feeding sila. Okay? They are able to multiply by binary fission, and they can be able to move by their pseudopods. Okay, because of that class, trophozoites are characteristically delicate and fragile. Madali silang mas mamatay, madali silang ma-disintegrate. Exposed to a certain environment, pwede silang mamatay. Okay, so the life cycles of all intestinal amoebas are similar. So, lahat halos ng amoebas class, dalawa lang ang kanilang morphological cycle. Either trophozoite lang or cyst. Merong in between pero it is still more likely para siyang developmental cyst pala rin siya. So, parang technically dalawa pa rin yung life or yung morphologic cycle or morphologic form ng lahat halos ng amoeba. Okay? So the most common means whereby amoebas are transferred to humans is through ingestion. Okay, again, the normal way of harboring this type of parasite class is through ingestion. Okay, ingestion by the food that we eat, ingestion by the water that we drink, or any drinks, okay, na contaminated by this parasite. Again, the infective stage of this parasite class is the cyst. Again, the infective stage of this parasite is the cyst. Bakit, sir, hindi trophozoite yung infective stage niya? Okay, sabi nga natin, the trophozoite is very fragile and delicate. Okay, once, siguro marami na rin tayo na-ingest na trophozoite, no? Once ma-ingest natin si trophozoite class, pwede siyang mamatay from the enzymes of our mouth, pwede siyang mamatay from the acid from our gastrointestinal system, pwede siyang mamatay from the enzymes na nasa ating stomach. Okay, so ganun ka-fragile or ganun ka-delicate si trophozoites. That's why, if we can also ingest kasama ni trophozoite, yung cyst class, si cyst ang magkukos ng infection sa atin. Again, the cyst of the amoeba is the infective stage. Siya yung nagkukos ng sakit. Okay? In most cases, class, trophozoites are easily destroyed by gastric juices of the stomach. So trophozoites are also susceptible to the environment outside the host. Therefore, trophozoites are usually transmitted to humans. Again, trophozoites are also susceptible outside the outside environment. So wala ka masyadong nakikita na trophozoite outside. Kasi pag, for example, nakalabas na siya sa katawan, namamatay din siya because nga masyado siyang delicate. Okay? So, namamatay din siya. So, yung nakukuha natin sa environment, also, that is the cyst form of the amoeba. Okay? So, later on, madidiscuss natin yung life cycle, no? Dalawa lang naman ang pwede nating tandaan dyan. The definitive, the diagnostic stage and then the infective stage. Ano yung dalawang stages na class? The diagnostic stage, siya yung nakikita natin sa testing. For example, sa ONP examination, siya yung nakikita natin. That's the diagnostic stage of the parasite. And the infective stage naman, class, siya yung pwedeng mag-cause ng sakit sa tao. Again, the two stages ng parasite that we need to know is the diagnostic stage and the infective stage. For amoeba class, both infective and diagnostic stage ng amoeba is the cyst. Okay? The cyst form ng parasite. Okay? So there is what we call existation class. Diba sabi nga natin, the infective stage of the parasite is the cyst. Diba? So, paano po sir nagmumultiply? Kasi nga sabi natin kanina, the only morphologic form na capable of binary fission or multiplication is the trophozoite. So, paano po nangyayari yun? Paano ba dumadami yung parasite sa loob? Okay, pagkapasok ni cyst sa loob ng katawan natin, class, di ba cyst siya, so that maprotektahan niya yung sarili niya from the harmful gastric acids. So, cyst siya pagpasok. Okay, existation, class, is a method or a procedure or probably the conversion, morphologic conversion from a cyst to a trophozoite form. Again, existation is the morphologic conversion of the cyst form into the trophozoite form. Saan ito nangyayari sa ating katawan? It happens, class, in the ileocecal area of the intestine. Ano bang ileocecal? Ileocecal, class, is the location of the intestine between the ileum and the cecum. Parang nasa puweta na siya banda, no? Nasa lower back na siya, parang nasa lower back portion na siya ng ating intestine. Okay, bakit doon kaya nangyayari din, sir? Okay, kasi di ba sabi niyo, sir, maraming acid. So bakit nagta-transform pa rin siya into a trophozoid. Okay? The ileocecal portion of our intestine class is wala na masyadong enzymes, wala na rin masyadong acid. Why? That portion of our gastrointestinal system is reserved for the reabsorption of water. Okay? The reabsorption of water. Okay, the reabsorption of water happened in the ileocecal portion of our intestine. So, tubig lang halos doon. So, kaya class, nabubuhay doon or pwede talagang mag-transform si cyst into a trophozoid by the process of excistation. Okay? So, replication only occurs in the trophozoid stage. That's why they need to transform or they need to perform or undergo excistation. Okay? So, it is accomplished by multiplication of the nucleus via a sexual binary fission. So I think I have a video of excistation class, no? So let's watch kung paano ba nangyayari si excistation. Okay? Paano ba nangyayari ang isang excistation?
Sana?
That's the nucleus. Masyag tae.
Okay, so if you notice, no, masyadong animated. Pero Mr. Kolong wala siyang subtitle, fortunately. So kung nakita niyo class, that is the process of how an amoeba is transformed into a cyst inside our body in the ileocecal portion of our intestine. Diba? Nata-transform siya from a cyst from we ingest, okay, from contaminated drink, water or food, and then it became a trophozoite for multiplication purposes para dumami siya sa loob, and then it will transform back into a cyst ulit. Kung nakita nyo kanina, naging cyst siya ulit, di ba? Before siya i-out sa ating stool or fecal samples, di ba? So, para makasurvive ulit siya sa outside environment. Okay. So, that's the process of existation. Okay. So, replication occurs in the trophozoites via sexual binary fission. Okay, parang siya multiply, no? So, cyst wall disruption, amoeba emerges, and then there's a nuclear division, 4 to 8 cytoplasmic division, and so trophozoites colonize large intestines, feeds on bacteria, debris, replicates by binary fission. Okay, by the way, class, no, there are certain, or I think there is only one amoeba na nag-feed into bacteria and RBCs. So, later on, siya yung first natin na amoeba. Si Entamoeba histolytica. I think siya lang ata ang pinakasikat na pathologic na amoeba. Siya yung nag-cause ng generally almost 80% ng amoebiasis, no? 80 to 90% ng amoebiasis is caused or due to Entamoeba histolytica. Okay? So, yung mga diarrhea ni John na so yung mga diarrhea ni John, si Entamoeba histolytica ang mag-cause yan. Okay, malalaman niyo yan sa class kasi when you view ito ng microscope class, si Entamoeba histolytica, meron siya mga RBC sa loob ng kanyang cytoplasm. Kumakain siya ng RBC and then ng mga bacteria. Okay? So next, morphology in life cycle, the conversion of trophozoid into a cyst. Okay? A process known as encystation. Okay? So yung kanina class, from a cyst to trophozoid, existation, trophozoid into a cyst naman, kasi babalik na naman siya, di ba? Into a cyst para paglabas sa ating stool, pwede na naman siyang mabuhay ulit. Okay? Or hindi siya mamamatay. So magbabalik siya into cyst in the process known as encystation. So, it occurs in the intestine when the environment becomes unacceptable for the continued trophozoid multiplication. So, medyo matalino si amoeba class, no? Pag malalaman niya na, ay, parang hindi na favorable yung environment ko for replication or for binary fission, kailangan ko na mag-transform into a cyst. So, it will undergo encystation na. Ano-ano ba yung mga unacceptable na mga conditions na yan? So, one of those class is yung overpopulation. So, hindi lang pala tayo or hindi lang pala sa mundo, sa Pilipinas, nagkaroon ng overpopulation, no? Meron ding overpopulation sa mga amoeba. Okay, kasi nga class, nag-aagawan din sila ng nutrients and food. So, probably if they will not transform back into a cyst, kasi di ba non-feeding si cyst, most of them will die due to malnourishment, di ba? Or mauubusan sila ng pagkain. So they will, if na-feel nila na masyado na marami yung nag-transform or na-replicate na trophozoid, okay, they need to go back into a cyst form. Okay? Another class is yung pH change. Over acidic or over alkaline na yung ating environment, pwede din silang mamatay. So they need to go back to their cyst form. Again, food supply, okay? Availability of oxygen para ring tao, no? Pag namamatay, sana tayo din, yung tao, pag feeling natin yung wala na tayong pagkain, nagugutuman na tayo, sana meron din tayong cyst form. Okay? Para hindi din tayo mamatay. So, si amoeba, social sila, meron silang ganong klase ng morphology. Okay? Contrary to trophozoids class, cysts are equipped with protective cell wall. Okay. So sabi natin kanina, di ba? Si cyst lang yung hindi nagkumak... Wait lang class ha. Gastrointestinal system. They can survive. Again,
Ayaw ko
the
at
cyst
tita.
of amoeba,
Ito sa birthday ni
even
Jojo,
our
pero
acidic
magpurihan na yun.
gastrointestinal system class, pwede silang mag-survive. Okay?
Mga alas 3.
Okay lang, Miss Nalas. So, go lang, Miss Nalas. Okay, so if you notice class, no, itong picture sa gilid, this is another type of amoeba. This is Georgia lamblia, one of the most famous na amoeba. Okay, why? Kasi class, ang itsura niya class sa microscope, yung trophozoite niya, is para siyang old man wearing eyeglasses. Okay? Baka siya may bigote. And then, pero class, yung kanilang cyst, pare-pareho lang lahat, bilog. And then, bibilangin mo na lang kung ilan yung nucleus sa loob. Okay? So, yan. Trophozoite and cysting cell, and then, it will become a cyst. So, ulit-ulit lang yan siya. Yan yung morphologic form ng isang amoeba. Okay? So next, what is the diagnostic characteristics or what are the different characteristics na pwede nating ma-diagnose or masabi natin na this is an amoeba sa laboratory? Okay? So amoebic trophozoites as well as cysts may be seen sa stool sample. Yes, both the trophozoite and the cyst can be seen in our stool sample. So trophozoites are primarily covered from stool that are soft, liquid, or loose consistency. Okay, so again, si trophozoite class pwede siyang makita sa mga soft, liquid, or loose ang consistency na stool. Why? Because these types of stools class are moist. Meron pang tubig. Okay, pwede pang buhay si trophozoite in few minutes. But sa mga hard and dry na stool class, probably na-disintegrate na yan wala ka nang makikita ng trophozoite dyan. Pwede kang makakita ng cyst. Pero class, sa laboratory kasi class, usually di ba diarrheic yung stool ng mga patients na may amoeba. Pero yung nakikita namin sa sample class, usually perfect circle ng mga parasites. So, hindi na namin alam, no? If ng mga halo-halo ba ang stool sample nila or meron talagang cyst na pwedeng sumama doon sa liquid or mga sample na loose. So, ang ginagawa lang namin sa lab class, we do not identify the morphology. We just identify the parasite, and then ang sinasabi na namin, for example, amoeba histolytica, trophozoite, and cyst found or seen. Okay, at amoeba histolytica, trophozoite, and then cyst, bilangin ilan yun. So that will be your result sa pathology. Okay? So form stool specimens are usually or more likely to contain cysts. Okay? It is important to point out the presence of either or both morphologic forms for diagnosis class. So proper determination of organism size using ocular micrometer is essential when identifying the amoebas. So why do we need to determine the size? Okay? Napakahirap siguro i-measure yan, no? So, if you notice, if you have used yung ating microscope, di ba meron yan siyang, actually yung sa normal na microscope wala. Okay? Pero sa mga specialized microscope class, yung ocular, di ba yung eyepiece natin, meron yan siyang grade sa, or meron yan siyang ruler sa loob. Okay, yung mga specialized na mga oculars. Okay, pag tingin mo sa microscope, and then meron ka nakitang parasite, pwede mo nang ma-measure using sa grade doon sa ocular na nakita mo. In that way, class, pwede mo siyang ma-measure via micrometer. Kaya nga, di ba, micrometer ang pag-distinguish or ang pag-measure ng size ng ating mga parasites. Okay, in that way, pag view mo sa microscope, measure agad ang size. Okay, why do we need to measure the size, by the way? Okay? If you notice class dito sa side class, no? Lahat ng form or lahat ng itsura ng cyst ng isang amoeba, Okay, iba-iba yung class. We have Entamoeba coli, Entamoeba histolytica, ito Entamoeba hartmanni, Buchiae, the Entamoeba fragilis. Lahat ng kanilang cyst class are all circular, pabilog. Okay? Probably, if you notice, meron lang din silang mga nucleus sa loob, pero class on a dirty na stool sample, mahirap kang magbilang ng nucleus. Okay? Pero if you are familiar with the size of the cyst of each and every na mga na amoeba, pwede mo nang bilangin or pwede mo nang i-identify from the size pa lang ng isang size pa lang ng amoeba or ng cyst niya. Tingnan nyo klase, Entamoeba coli, si Balantidium coli, gaano kalaki ang kanyang cyst form. Di ba? Ito naman si Entamoeba histolytica, ang form niya. Medyo malaki-laki lang ng konti si Entamoeba coli at medyo maliit si Entamoeba hartmanni. Di ba? Pareho ng itsura class si Entamoeba hartmanni and Entamoeba histolytica when it comes to cyst. Pero ang difference nila class is the size ng kanilang mga cyst. Maliit si hartmanni, medyo malaki si histolytica. May distinguishing factor na si size nun. Okay? So another class is the appearance of the nuclear characteristics. Okay, so yun na yung class, yung ating nucleus. Diba? Bibilangin natin siya. Ilan ba ang bilang ng nucleus? Ilan ba ang bilang ng mga nucleus ng mga cyst? So sabi natin kanina kung ilan ang number ng nucleus, ganun din ang number ng kanyang number ng nucleus sa trophozoite. Okay? Okay? So the saline wet preparation and iodine wet preparation each have an advantage that supports their use. Okay, di ba we have performed this already sa ating demonstration, di ba? Both of these wet preparations class are necessary. Okay, ano ba yung function or ano ba yung purpose ni NSS or the saline wet preparation? Ang purpose niya class is for the motility na parasite. Mas freely nag-move si amoeba sa saline wet solution. Okay? Sa naman class, sa iodine or sa Lugol solution, nakukulayan naman siya. So mas nakikita mo ng maigi yung kanyang mga nucleus. So mas pwede mo siyang babilang when you are using Lugol solution. Pero yung movement ng isang parasite class, mas madali mo siyang ma-identify or mas madali mo makita using the saline solution. By the way class, yung movement pala, sabay natin, di ba? Si amoeba lang ang protozoa na capable of movement, di ba? And amoeba class, meron siyang iba't ibang klase ng movement. Merong sluggish movement, merong tumbling motility, meron ding sideways lang, merong up or pababa lang na motility. Okay? In that way class, pwede mo na ring identify kung anong klase ng trophozoite yung andoon sa ating stool sample. Okay? Okay. Pero class, when it comes to using yung mga other reagent, kailangan siyang basahin agad. Why? Kasi nga, using other reagents like yung ating mga staining reagents, pwedeng mag-cause ng shrinkage at size ng ating parasites. Pwede niya. Kaya kung if you're using stains, kailangan siyang basahin agad. Okay, may sorry. Okay, next we have pathogenesis and clinical symptoms. When we say pathogenesis class, it is all about the development of the disease. Okay, the development of the disease caused by these parasites. So the presence of other amoebic structures and characteristics such as cytoplasmic inclusions and other motility also aids in the identification of the amoeba. Sabi nga kanina, mayroong iba't ibang motility or movement ang mga trophozoites na amoeba. A number of patients infected with intestinal amoeba are asymptomatic. Okay? Kasi class, most of amoebas class are non-pathogenic. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila nagkakos ng infection pero nandoon sila sa ating system. They are not able to produce infection. Pero hindi para na rin siyang commensalism, no? They are in our body but they cannot produce or cannot cause infection. Okay, si entamoeba histolytica lang ata ang known, no, na nagko-cause talaga ng amoebiasis. Okay? So pero we need also to determine, okay, kahit non-pathologic yan siya. Okay, later on Mr. Kolong, we will go to discuss that one pag dumating na tayo sa life cycle. Okay? So saan nga ako? Okay. We need also to discuss or to identify kahit non-pathogenic yung ating mga amoeba. Okay, why? Kasi ang route of transmission ng pathogenic class and non-pathogenic iisa lang. What if ang nakita mo lang sa stool sample is the non-pathogenic na amoeba, pero hindi mo pala alam na meron din siyang kasama doon sa infected or sa contaminated na source, meron ding nakasama na pathogenic. So, we need also to determine that one. Kasi yung pathogenic na yun ang pwedeng mag-cause ng infection. Identical lang din ang kanilang route of entry. Okay? So, I think I have a video, no, of the actual NC station pala. Sorry, hindi ko napakita sa inyo. Yung actual na NC station or yung transformation of a trophozoite back into a cyst. So medyo mabagal lang ito siya. Pero actual talaga, hindi siya yung animated form. Okay, from ano talaga siya, from the environment, na-transform siya back into a cyst. So that's amoeba class. Okay, that's amoeba transforming back to its cyst. Okay, from trophozoite into cyst. Okay, probably because of the harsh environment outside, so kailangan niyang bumalik into cyst by the process of encystation. Okay? So ito nga, parang nasugan tayo. Okay. So now let's go or move on to why the infection itself. So infection is the most common in people who live in underdeveloped countries that have a poor sanitary conditions. So if you notice class, no, lahat halos ng nagkakaroon ng amoebiasis, no, is ingestion of contaminated water, contaminated food. Okay. So most cases or recorded cases of amoebiasis class by the DOH or the WHO, they are pointing out yung sanitary conditions ng environment ng patients. Okay, so what if, for example, no, take for example itong picture na nasa gilid. Okay, so they are living beside the river. Okay, they are living beside the river. Okay, probably that river class is their source of food. Diyan sila namimingwit ng isda. For example, okay, diyan sila kumukuha ng pagkain. Okay, pero yung ilog na yan class, diyan din sila naliligo, diyan din sila naglalaba, and then diyan din sila dumudumi. Okay, alam niyo yung banyo na yan, for example, banyo. And then bigla mo, pag ang banyo kasi nila class, may butas lang sa papag. And then mahuhulog lang dyan sa river. And then iaanuhin lang yan, ang stool nila, iaanuhin lang din ng river. So ibig sabihin, that river is contaminated. And yet, dyan pa sila kumukuha ng pagkain. Diyan hinuhugasan yung pagkain nila. Diyan sila kumukuha ng tubig panghugas doon sa kanin nila. Okay. So that is an evolution or a cycle of poor sanitation. Okay. Kaya din sila nagkakaroon ng sakit. Kaya din sila prone to amoebiasis. Diba? So poor sanitation. Kaya nga diba ang promotion or ang project ng government when it comes to health class is not just giving away medicines, not just free consultation, but also free education. Okay? We need to know, or hindi naman nga nila alam class na yung tubig na yan, akala nila yung area na nahulugan ng stool nila, yun lang yung madumi. Diba? Hindi naman yan nila alam. Okay? Akala nila yung area lang na yun ang madumi, without knowing na, ay baka dito sa ibang area na to, pwede kang maghugas ng bigas, pwede kang maghugas ng gulay, and then pwede mo nang iluto after. Okay? So hindi nila alam yan. So proper education, kaya nga diba, ang government natin, wide na yung campaign when it comes to proper sanitation. Diba? Yung per family talaga, ini-interview yan, saan ba kayo kumukuha ng tubig, saan kayo naliligo, ano ang itsura ng bahay ninyo, saan kayo dumudumi. Ganon sila ka-thorough on the different projects or different interviews na kinakandak sa mga areas na to sa Pilipinas. Okay, kasi nga, masyado na rin mataas yung number of infection na related to poor sanitation. Not just, not just amoebiasis. Okay, marami na tayong infection or mga sakit na caused by poor sanitation. Okay? So, sa US daw class, di ba, ang US is a first world country, so wala masyadong sanitary problem. Pero, meron pa rin silang number of amoebiasis infection or amoebic infection. Galing daw yan siya sa mga immigrants or tourists na galing sa mga third world countries. And then, pumunta doon, nagkaroon or naglipat ng sakit or nagdumumi, and then pwede nila na-transfer doon sa ibang tao doon sa area na yun. Okay? So it is important to note that only one of the intestinal amoebas, yung Amoeba histolytica, may produce characteristic symptoms and universally considered to be a pathogen. Again, so si Amoeba histolytica lang class. yung internationally considered or universally considered to be a pathogen, Entamoeba histolytica. So infections with each of the extraintestinal amoebas may cause symptoms that are other than intestinal in nature. So pwede din ma-infect class yung ating mouth, eyes, and brain. So later on sa ating life cycle ng amoeba, no? We were going to discuss kung paano ba napupunta yung amoeba sa mata, paano ba napupunta yung amoeba sa brain, sa mouth. Okay, we have amoeba class, no, that can cause keratitis, yung acanthamoeba keratitis caused by acanthamoeba species because of contaminated contact lenses. Yung mga tubig na ginagamit sa contact lenses hindi pinapalitan. Okay, or yung gumagamit ng contact lenses and then ibabalik, di ba may mga contact lenses class na disposable, pero ang gusto kasi nagtitipid, uulitin. Okay, it can cause acanthamoeba keratitis. Okay, also, meron din tayong amoeba class na can cause brain abscess. Okay, so a simple amoeba or amoebiasis can cause coma, no? Caused by a certain amoeba known as Naegleria fowleri. So later on in our discussion, we're going to discuss paano ba napupunta sa brain yung trophozoite ng amoeba. Okay, kasi nga si amoeba na trophozoite, siya lang naman ang feeding, di ba? Hindi naman si cyst. So ibig sabihin, si amoeba lang talaga ang nagkakos ng mga abscess na yan. Si trophozoite lang. Okay? So wait lang. Okay, what are the different classifications ng amoeba class? Okay, we have members or amoeba is under the member of subphylum Sarcodina, class Lobosea, and may be separated into two categories, no, intestinal and extraintestinal. Okay, meaning these parasites can migrate or take up residences outside the intestines. Sabi ko kanina, pwede talaga silang umalis dyan sa ating intestine. Okay, and go to other places like our brain, our lungs, our eyes. Okay, so yun lang kasi ang alam natin na class, no? Pag sinabi nating amoeba, okay, gastrointestinal system lang, intestine lang. Yan lang yung alam natin na location ng amoeba. Well, in fact, class, pwede silang mag-extra-intestinal. Okay, from the intestine, pwede silang migrate going to our kidneys, to our lungs, to our liver, even to our brains. Okay, ganon kalala ang amoebic infection. Okay, so next. So first, na itatakal natin na variant ng amoeba class is si Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, so famous Entamoeba histolytica. Siya yung kino-consider class, no, na universally considered as pathogen. So, common associated disease or common names are intestinal amoebiasis, amoebic colitis, amoebic dysentery, and extraintestinal amoebiasis. Yan yung usual na naka-attach na name or diseases kay Entamoeba histolytica. So yung trophozoite ni Entamoeba histolytica class is nag-range from 8 to 65 micrometer. Yung pinakamaliit na trophozoite niya is 8 at yung pinakamalaki na trophozoite ng Entamoeba histolytica is 65. But on an average size class, meron siyang 12 to 25 micrometer. Again, yung average size ng isang normal or yung normal trophozoite ng Entamoeba histolytica is 12 to 25. Okay? So the trophozoite exhibits rapid unidirectional progressive movement kahit saan location, wala siyang pinupuntahan. Meron kasi class na parasite na one direction lang, pa-side lang lahat. Meron ding parasite na pa-up or pa-down lang. Okay? Si Entamoeba histolytica class, non-directional, kahit saan pwede siya pupunta. Okay? So the progressive movement achieved with the help of a finger-like hyaline pseudopods, and then the single nucleus typically contains a small central mass of chromatin, okay, known as caryosome. So ito yung kanyang nucleus, no? At merong mass ng chromatin sa loob known as karyosome. Okay, also known as karyosomal chromatin. So a variance of karyosome includes eccentric or fragmented karyosomal material. So if you notice, marami ding parang shadow sa palibot ng karyosome, no? That is the peripheral chromatin. Okay? So it is stained, preparation may reveal lightly staining fibrils located between the karyosome and the peripheral chromatin, yung sa gitna ng dalawa. So yung chromatin na yung class, yung E. histolytica trophozoite contains a finely granular cytoplasm which is often referred to as ground glass in appearance. Again, ground glass in appearance. Then, RBCs or red blood cells in the cytoplasms are considered as diagnostic because only E. histolytica is capable of exhibiting this characteristic class. Okay? Siya lang ang pwedeng mag-engulf ng RBC. Bacteria, yeast, and other debris may also reside in the cytoplasm of Entamoeba histolytica. Pag makita ka class ng bilog or ganito ang shape at merong RBC sa loob, merong bacteria, may mga debris, that is Entamoeba histolytica. Kasi nga sabi nila, sabi sa book na reference natin, siya lang daw out of all the amoebas ang merong characteristic na pwedeng mag-engulf ng RBCs and other debris from our body. Okay? I think done ang part 1 pa lang. No? Upload ko muna si part 2 class ha. Okay. So let's move on to our cyst. Okay, we are done with trophozoite. So yung cyst ng Entamoeba histolytica class is smaller than the troph, of course. So 8 to 22 micrometer with an average of 12 to 18 micrometer. So the presence of hyaline cyst wall helps the recognition of this morphologic form. So meron yan siyang hyaline cyst form. So yan yung nagpo-protect sa kanya from the harsh environment. Yung cysts characteristically contains an organized chromatin material that transforms into a squared or round-ended structures called chromatoid bars. So yung chromatoid bars class contains yung ating mga RNA. So contains yung RNA materials or condensed RNA materials ng amoeba. Okay, meron ding nakapaloob na glycogen mass. This glycogen mass class is considered to contain yung mga stored food ng amoeba since 'di ba yung cyst natin is non-feeding. Hindi siya kumakain outside, 'di ba? Kasi meron siyang wall. So ito yung it will serve as the food during that time. Okay? As the cyst matures class, the glycogen mass usually disappears, a process that likely represents the usage of the stored food. Okay, one of the four nuclei are usually present. Okay, the nuclei appears basically the same as those of the trophozoites. So in all respect, but are usually smaller. Okay, so kung apat ang nasa cyst class, apat din ang nasa trophozoite. So nuclear variation do occur with most of their being eccentric karyosomes. So thin plaques of peripheral chromatin or clumps or peripheral chromatin at one side of the nucleus appears crescent shape. So nandito, diba, eccentric yung kanilang nucleus. Usually class, itong area na side na ito is usually bound or nandito lahat ng mga RNA granules. Okay? So, the mature infective cyst is known as quadrinucleated. So, ibig sabihin class, again, ang infective stage ng isang entamoeba histolytica is a quadrinucleated cyst. Quadrinucleated kasi apat ang kanyang nucleus. Again, quadrinucleated cyst of entamoeba histolytica ang kanyang infective stage. Okay. So the cytoplasm remains fine and granular. RBCs, bacteria, yeast, and other debris are not found in the cyst stage. Okay. So next we have the different testing or the different methods of testing when it comes to entamoeba histolytica. Okay. So diagnosis of E. histolytica class infection may be accompanied by standard and alternative methods. So in addition to performing traditional wet preparation and permanent staining techniques, we have also other type or methods in diagnosing this infection. Okay, pwede natin siyang gawing culture. Okay, sabi natin kanina, di ba? Si trophozoite ng entamoeba histolytica class, pwede siyang mag-cause ng abscess doon sa ating liver. So yung ating liver abscess will serve as our specimen. Also yung ating sigmoidoscopy procedure na makukuha natin doon class, pwede din natin siyang gawing culture with the use of a special medium known as the TYS-33. Ito yan siya, TYS-33 used to support yung pag-culture ng entamoeba histolytica. So, hindi ito ginagawa sa normal laboratory class kasi wala tayo nito. We do not culture bacteria. Sa mga specialized laboratories lang ito ginagawa. Okay, capable of handling yung pag-culture ng mga parasites. Okay? Ito naman class, may mga instances class no na we cannot find cyst or trophozoite on the stool of the patient. But you are sure na the patient is suffering from entamoeba histolytica infection. Pero bakit wala kaming nakikitang parasite sa stool niya? Okay. Yun pala class, pwedeng nag-migrate yung parasite from the intestine going to the different locations like our liver, the lungs, the heart, or even the brain. Kaya wala lang adult parasite doon sa kanyang stool. Okay? So, ang pwede mo na lang gawin dyan, class, is to test for serological or test the parasite serologically. Okay? Kukuha ka ng blood and test for the antibody na pwedeng specific for entamoeba histolytica. So, meron na tayo niyan ngayon. So, hindi mo na kailangan mag-submit ng stool. You just need to extract blood from the patient and test for the presence of the antibodies present sa ating blood for entamoeba histolytica. Okay? Now let's move on to for example ito, microwell. Pero class medyo expensive ito compared to stool exam, no? Of course. Medyo may kamahalan din siya. Now, ang sabi natin kanina, no, bakit kaya hindi natin nakikita yung sample or yung trophozoite class sa ating stool sample? Baka naman kasi pumunta na siya sa ibang location or nag-migrate sa ibang location. Okay, wait ka. Yung amoeba histolytica mismo. Okay? Na-view niyo ba yung ating, nakikita niyo ba? Okay. So, if you notice class, yung nasa gilid na picture class, that is a liver abscess caused by Entamoeba histolytica trophozoite migrating on our liver. The red portion is the healthy liver and the white portion sa gitna, that is the abscess caused by Entamoeba histolytica trophozoite. Okay. So, paano kaya nangyari yan? Nag-migrate siya dyan and nag-cause siya ng abscess. Okay? Sabi nga natin, di ba, si Entamoeba histolytica trophozoites are capable or feeders. Okay? Siya yung nag-cause ng abscess na yan. Okay? So, unless these trophozoites return to the lumen, wala ka talagang makikitang trophozoites on the stool sample if those trophozoites already migrated on the different locations or areas in the body. So, tingnan natin kung paano ba sila nakakapunta doon. Okay, this is the life cycle ng parasite. Okay? Okay? This life cycle ng parasite class is unlikely sa iba, no? Okay, sabi natin, the infective stage, pag sinabi infective stage class, siya yung nai-engulf natin. Diba? Para ma-infect tayo ng parasite. So, the infective stage of the parasite is the quadrinucleated cyst. Okay, quadrinucleated cyst. Na-ingest mo siya. Nung na-ingest mo siya, class, nag-develop siya into, or nung na-ingest mo siya, on the ileocecal location or portion of our intestine, nag-undergo siya ng existation or nag-transform si cyst into a trophozoite. Okay, from there, class, pwede nang mag-multiply si trophozoite. Diba? Pwede na siya mag-multiply. And from there, class, si trophozoite, class, from the intestine, pwede siyang mag-extra-intestinal migration. Lalabas siya sa intestine, okay, via circulation sa bloodstream natin. Pupunta siya sa liver, okay. It can cause liver abscess, yung kaninang picture na yon. It can migrate to the lungs. Of course, it can cause lung abscess, and also it can go to our brains. Okay, pwede siya mag-cause ng brain abscess. Yun ang ginagawa ni trophozoite, Entamoeba histolytica trophozoite. Okay, so and then, if you notice class, there is a cyst here. Yung cyst na yan, pwede rin, pwede siyang magbalik, di ba? From trophozoite, di ba? From our intestine. Okay, pwede din siyang bumalik into cyst ulit. Okay? Magiging cyst siya ulit para ilalabas na naman siya ng body natin papunta sa environment. Via stool, via feces, during defecation. Okay? During defecation class, okay, yan na yung ititest natin. Okay, for diagnosis. Ibig sabihin, this cyst, this quadrinucleated cyst class is again the diagnostic stage ng parasite. Okay, if you notice, no, the infective and diagnostic stage ng parasite are the same. Both of them is quadrinucleated cyst. Quadrinucleated cyst ang infective, quadrinucleated cyst din ang kanyang diagnostic stage. Naintindihan? Okay. So, those are the ito yung life cycle ng isang Entamoeba histolytica. So, wag niyong basta-bastahin ganyan si histolytica class kasi akala niyo lang sa stool lang siya na-out lahat, no? Pwede siyang mapunta sa brain, sa lungs, sa liver. So be careful. Kasi class, sa liver class, if magkaroon ng liver abscess, that is irreversible. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya gagaling. The liver cells won't replicate itself. So kung mag-damage siya class, may-damage talaga siya. Okay? Now, balik tayo doon sa tanong ni Mr. Kolong. Once, sir, amoeba ba? hindi na naman mawawala. Okay. Mr. Kolong, no? So, nakita nyo ba yung cyst area, di ba? During encystation, Mr. Kolong, di ba? From trophozoite, magiging cyst siya ulit. And then lalabas siya sa stool sample or sa ating feces during defecation. Merong mga cyst, Mr. Kolong, na hindi nalalabas or hindi talaga na-out sa ating intestine. Di ba yung ating intestine, meron niyang folds. Di ba may mga folds dyan? If you look at the picture, may mga folds yan. Di ba? Pwede diyang umipit ang mga cyst ng isang Entamoeba histolytica. Sa dami ng na-replicate na trophozoite at naging cyst, most of them, class, hindi lahat nalalabas sa stool. Pwede yang kumapit dyan sa mga intestine, sa folds ng intestine, at nandyan lang siya hanggang makasurvive siya. Because of the cell wall ng ating cyst, class, it will be protected from harsh environment ng ating intestine. So kaya yung sinasabi nila, pwede pa rin silang ma-infect ulit, yes. Pag lumabas na naman yung cyst dyan sa kanyang folds, and then your body is immunocompromised, pwede ka ulit magkaroon ng amoebiasis. Kaya nga sabi nila, lifetime na daw. Sa dami ba naman ng cyst na nandyan sa ating intestines. Okay? So, ano ba yung sabi niya? Ano po ang complication pag naas sa brain? Brain abscess, Miss Belonio, no? Same on, sabi nga natin, di ba, the trophozoite is feeders. Sila yung morphologic form ng isang parasite na capable of eating or feeding. So, yung ginagawa niya sa liver, class, that is a liver abscess, sinisira or kinakain niya yung liver natin. Same with the lungs, pag napunta siya sa lungs, and same with sa brain, pag napunta siya doon. Kaya yung patients, class, na merong liver abscess, no, akala nila merong yung symptoms pa nga, minsan akala nila merong schizophrenia, akala nila nababaliw, akala nila bumabalik sa pagkabata, yun pala meron siyang liver abscess. Hindi nila alam because of parasitic infection. So very unlikely to happen, pero possible. Hindi siya usual na nangyayari because of amoebic infection, but it is possible. Okay? Ano pa? I think we need to stop here kasi dito kami nag-stop sa A kanina, no? Paano nagagawa ng Entamoeba histolytica? Sabi nga natin, strong swan, di ba? Balikan natin yung video kanina, no? Capable siya of feeding. Again, di ba ang sabi natin, si trophozoite ng Entamoeba histolytica, out of the two types of morphologic form, si trophozoite ang capable of feeding. Ibig sabihin, kinakain niya yung laman. They are capable of eating on our cells, on our living cells. Diba? Nakita niyo man kanina, diba, sa video, when it attaches itself on our intestine, nag-cause na ng irritation doon sa ating gastrointestinal tract, and kaya tayo merong diarrhea. Diba? Tingnan niya, class. Sorry. Tingnan niyo ito. Yung kanina, yung existation nito. Okay. Yan, nagta-transform siya into trophozoites by the process of existation. So, trophozoite na ito siya. Tingnan niyo, class, ang gagawin niya sa lining ng ating intestine. Okay? Sabi natin, di ba, si trophozoite lang ang capable of multiplication. So, dadami siya. Di ba? This is trophozoite. Okay? And It can eat bacteria and other cells on our body. Okay? It can cause also irritation on our intestinal linings. Kaya nga tayo nagkakaroon ng diarrhea if we are infected with amoeba or entamoeba histolytica. Okay? Yan. Yan, dadami siya. Lang siya, ano. Ito yung time na ito yung time class na yan. Nag-cause na siya ng irritation on our gastrointestinal lining. And in that way, class, kinakain nila yung living cells kung saang area sila napupunta. Okay? What do you mean transformation, Mr. Tolentino? Transformation from anong transformation ang ibig sabihin? Binary fission. Ibig sabihin ng binary fission. Yes, mas mabilis yan sila. Once na naging Mr. Tolentino, once na naging trophozoite siya, Mr. Tolentino, and nakakain na siya ng living cells, ng mga contents ng ating intestines, okay, ng ating body, pwede na siya, or may energy na siya, capable na siya of binary fission. Mas mabilis na. Yung isang binary fission, di ba? Ang binary fission class, magiging dalawa sila. Yung dalawa, magiging apat. Yung apat, magiging 8. Yun. Yung isa class, magdadalawa. So, para siya pyramiding. Ganun kabilis ang kanilang multiplication. Kasi nga, asexual. Hindi na kailangan ng male and female para mag-produce ng offspring. Okay? Siya lang mismo mag-isa, pwede na siyang dumami. Okay? That is what we call binary fission. Okay? Do you have any questions pa regarding I think dito na tayo mag-stop, no? Kasi dito kami nag-stop sa A kanina. This is epidemiology na. Okay? So, I will post a quiz, activity quiz regarding our topic today. And the deadline for that will be on Wednesday next week. Okay? Again, I will post an activity quiz. Okay? Today, and the deadline for that will be Wednesday next week sa ating lecture din. Okay? And I will be giving you an assignment. Okay, for your assignment, deadline din Wednesday. For your assignment, search for any journals class, okay? Regardless of what type of amoeba, okay? Regardless kung anong klaseng amoeba in general, okay? Kahit anong klaseng amoeba, okay? Basta, development or ano bang tawag? Right term dito. Para siyang search for journals na progression. For example, progression about amoeba. Pwedeng bagong tuklas na amoeba or another species of amoeba. Okay, pwedeng journals about the newly or mutated type of amoeba, pwedeng ganon, okay? Or journal about new medicines that can fight amoebic infection or amoebiasis, pwedeng ganon din. Or journals about a new procedure to diagnose amoeba. Okay, mga ganon. Basta, any development about amoeba. Yung mga bagong development. Yung hindi natin alam, yung hindi pa recorded on our books. Okay? New updates. Yun, by the way, yun pala. Updates about amoeba. Pwedeng updated, mutated version. Okay? Bagong discover na mga species of amoeba. Pwede. Okay? Updated drugs or medications for infection ng amoeba or yung mga diagnostic procedures, yung mga bagong test. Okay? Basta journals siya about amoeba, development or updates on amoeba. Okay? Journal critic siya about that journal class. Okay? Critic siya about that journal. Yan pala. Okay? So, and deadline yan class, I will also post yung instruction and activity, and deadline yan class will be also on Wednesday next week. Okay? That will serve as your assignment next week. Okay? So, may tanong pa ba? Naintindihan ba yung ating topic today class? Okay? Nakakuha ba ninyo? What time was sa Wednesday? Time natin. Okay, 3, ano ba tayo? 1:30, Miss Maderable. 1:30 to 4:30. Basta before 1:30, you need to submit it before 1:30. Before mag-start yung ating lecture time. Okay? So I guess that would be all for today class, no? Do you have another class after this? Wala na. Well, class, please inform your classmates na wala kayo kasi hindi nakapasok sa brownout, no? Regarding sa book. Okay? Please inform, kasi hindi ko inform yung A kanina, no? Please inform also the A na hindi na-deliver or hindi naka-available yung book from our suppliers, and i-search na lang nila si Shopee. Sana, no? So, add it to cart na lang kayo. Add it to cart. Kaya nyo rin si Lazada, baka meron. Okay? Pero kaya nyo na rin makahiram on sa mga kakilala ninyo na upper batches, kasi siguro hindi pa nila gamitin, pwede kayong makahiram. Okay? So I guess this would be all for today class, no? So thank you everyone for tuning in sa ating YouTube channel. Okay? Yeah, na-place din ang order. Mas mura ba siya sa Shopee kumpara sa price natin? Okay. So again, thank you everyone, and see you next meeting on our Monday, no? So for our another laboratory session, and see you on Saturday for our histology. Okay? 600. Okay. 600 lang siya ang Shopee. So nakatipid tayo, no? Mas mabilis. Feeling ko mas mabilis siyang dumating kasi siya. Yes, 2 to 3 days lang. Okay? So thank you everyone, and have a good day. Be safe, and goodbye. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.